Happy Monday. Why you give me that? I don't think I got that up. That's your.
Talking back. I'll tell you about your mouth.
Ooh,
Get a different cup.
We live. We live. All right.
Always with the mouth.
Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. He writes out all of my scripture. Whoa. He brings up. Now you ain't gonna give me a thimble. Hey y'all. Come on in and tell us where you're from. What set you claim? Come on, come on, come on, come on, Lord, come on, Lord. Nobody but you wrote that. I knew you were gonna say something. I'm loaded. What are you doing? What you doing? You like you're retarded. What's that?
I didn't do that.
What you did?
At all.
What you did? What him did?
Not that. I'm trying to see why I got so much hair on my head and you don't.
Cause I'm better than you.
Yeah. That big head.
Who told you to eat that?
I just want to buy.
Oh. Come on in and tell us where you're from. What set you claim? Come on, come on. That's us. Hey, Miss Mildred. How are you?
All right, how we doing?
You back to normal yet? Had them grandbabies for a long time. Every time I represent your town, your city, neighborhood.
Whatever.
How's everything?
So noisy.
Lord help me. Oh, you got used to them, huh? Got used to them. Now they gone. Well, at one time, we'll have us some grandchildren we can send home.
Yeah, them lies.
Them lies what?
When their parents go home, they going with them.
Them lies.
Whatever.
901 and building. Mama say Orlando be a popper. Hey, Mom. 901 in the house. Is that the area code? Why aren't you looking over there and say, here? What's wrong with you tonight? Is you all right with your life? You don't look like it.
I was till you came here.
You want me to go somewhere?
Please. Take a turn with you.
Where you want me to go?
I don't care.
How long I'm gone?
Ever?
Ever? Y'all heard him say he want me to go on ever?
Take a chillin' with you.
Y'all see how he treat me? I mean, he want me to go on ever. That ain't right. Well, anyway, trying to give everybody a moment to get in the room, but it looks like we are at the 7:05. So, how was everyone's Monday? How was your Monday, Cedric?
It was another Monday. Just another manic Monday.
Look, Mama talking about devil is a lie, right? But you want me to be gone. He know better. Times you miss it. He talking about he want me. He was okay till I got home. He want me to be gone. I said, but how long? He talking about ever. See how you doing, Tom? You just told me you thought he was doing better.
I'm doing good. You go over there with them. Spend time with people.
You said you want me gone forever.
Go visit.
You said you want me gone forever.
Why are you looking at me? You're not looking at the camera.
Because you the one said you want me gone forever.
Oh, that's the reason why you're looking at me and not the camera.
Tom, you ain't gonna do nothing? You ain't gonna say nothing? Anyway,
Look
so
at
what?
the camera.
You ain't.
I'm interacting with the family.
Well, baby, I want you to look at the camera so we ain't gonna have no footage. No.
Okay.
Help him, Lord. Tanya said, I tried to be nice yesterday, but I remember that.
Remember what?
You told me you want to be gone forever.
Say what?
That's her sister.
That's her sister.
That's right. What is that?
It's a camera.
Oh, Jesus.
You look at
Look, you see what she said?
it. That's all right.
Chanel, come hand me my book.
Hey, Tanja, I didn't tighten the screws all the way. Don't go for a ride.
Just hand me the book.
I handed it to you.
No,
You
you
didn't grab
didn't.
it.
Okay, thanks. Why is that? Y'all see this? Says I literally died on purpose.
Look at that.
I know the author.
Look at that bestseller.
That's the look. Look, Tanya said you was wrong for that.
Be very, very careful.
So, anyway,
That's our resident best-selling author right there.
you can grab this from Amazon. Great read. We're gonna have her on soon so she can do her author thing, talk about her book.
Is that what the author thing? Talk about the book.
You. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, now wait a minute. Now he redeemed himself because he said best-selling author,
There you go.
but he gonna kick me out.
I ain't kick you out.
You say leave,
That's not kicking
Me
you.
alone.
That's not kicking you out.
pack your bags.
You sound like all the people accusing Bill now.
Oh God. I agree with the truth, Tanya.
There you go.
Whatever.
Anyways, before we were distracted with Angela's nonsense.
That's Cedric. I think you owe me an apology in front of all these wonderful people that you don't want me to leave forever.
Anyway, our topic for today is
You're not gonna take it back?
the state of your black union. Please look at the camera, not look at me.
You're not gonna take it back?
You looking at me, not the
You're
camera.
not gonna take it back?
Take what back?
Look, y'all seen it? You're not gonna take it back?
Look at the camera.
No, you're gonna take it back.
You messing up the footage.
Why you trying to use the word I said against me?
Exactly. And you still looking at me and not looking at the camera. Hi, everyone.
I don't like him very much. Talk
did.
topic.
Now, I was talking and you kept interrupting me, so I'm gonna let you talk. Yeah,
This is not productive.
not a productive. What is a productive? Is that a procedure you get when you go to the proctologist? A productive?
I can't stand him at all.
Oh, why are you mad at me? I'm asking you a question. You the one said it. So tonight's topic is I'm not saying anything.
You just said it.
Okay, and expound on that. What made you come up with that topic for today?
Yeah, I need to know the state of my black union.
You definitely do. I do too. It's always good to know what the state of your black union is, so you're not flying blind, as it were.
Lord, we blind.
No, not we.
Oh, so I'm the only one blind?
You got to speak for yourself. This ain't France. We. Mm-mm. You.
Anyway, it came I don't like you very much right now. It came as a result of a Bible plan that we read, and this guy has a different and interesting. I can't talk perspective.
Why are you throwing napkins at me?
Interesting perspective on things,
Okay.
and talking about where you put your value at for your marriage and your relationship. So, it made me think about what's the state of your marriage, and how do you quantify? Is that right? Quantify what state you're in. How do you know what state your relationship is in?
Well, I think the quantification will be different for everybody, but you have to take stock, I guess, of what you feel is important for your relationship that makes it successful and how you grade in those areas.
That was really deep.
It's not. It's not. It's not like a SAT where everybody have the same, I guess, answer key. Every relationship is different.
But isn't there some like how you have a rough draft? There are some things like Jerry used to do this analogy that like every marriage is different, but there are some basic guidelines that everybody has to follow.
Yeah, but that doesn't make your marriage a success because you may need more in one area or less in another one than somebody else. So if somebody else had your exact same marriage, it wouldn't be successful because they don't need exactly what you need. So there are some basic things, yes, but every answer key would be a little different, I think, in my opinion. Because you get in trouble looking at somebody else's relationship and trying to tailor yours exactly like that.
Right. So I'm saying, but if I was trying to figure out the state of our relationship, I don't know what I would use as the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I would like if we're happy. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean our relationship in a good place because people go through you hear what I'm saying? Like your mood doesn't mean your relationship is in a good place, good or bad.
Well, I think yes and no, because how you react to hard times or adversity is important. Because if you have adversity and every time you have adversity you fighting each other and cuss each other out, then obviously I don't think your relationship is in a good place.
Well, that's true. Well, I don't know. I just was trying to figure out as far as like when you're talking about marriage, and I know sometimes I don't know. It's just sometimes it could be when you can't wait to get home to see the person, or you may be in time when y'all spend a lot more time together, or times when y'all just having a good conversation. It's been times where there's money's not tight. You know, like those different parts, different for different time periods. There's different things that state where the relationship is.
Well, I agree with that to a certain extent, but there's always ebbs and flows in a relationship. So it may be a time where you're not necessarily head over heels in love with the person, but that don't mean your relationship is not in a good place. So I want people to be careful to be like, if I'm not in a rush to get home to my spouse, then our relationship is not good. That's not necessarily the case.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you have been in a rush to get home. I'm just trying to say because it's been times that like I might find the relationship in a good place and you don't, and same thing vice versa. We've had times where because it's like you said, it's different for each person.
Right.
Well, actually, you said different for each marriage, but more so it's different for each person because what you need and what you're looking for may be different than what I need and what I'm looking for.
Right. And the thing about that too is as your relationship grows and the years go on, that changes. So
that's true.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to be constantly taking stock or trying to assess the situation. It's not like a one-time thing. It's like you get a new car. It's new for a while, but then you got to change the oil. You got to take it in for service and stuff like that. It's not a.
It's not a what?
Oh, you get it and that's it. There's some maintenance and things that have to be had and have to be done.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a black and white answer. It's a constantly evolving type situation.
How do you know your marriage is failing?
Well, there's a lot of different things on that part as well. It could be not being able to communicate, having no desire to work on the relationship.
Well,
I think anytime you're not working on it or have no desire to work on it, you're definitely not in a good place.
Well, that's always a given.
But I'm saying, even though it's a given, there's still,
Well, do you ever get to a point where you don't have to work on it?
No, of course not. And just like, again, to the car analogy, no matter how long you have a car, even after you replaced everything on it, there comes a time when you have to.
I missed some comment. Go ahead.
Do some more maintenance on it. Go ahead.
So, all right, said dropping some knowledge. Whatever. Tammy says, good question. All right, Mike says, how often should one assess one's relationship or marriage?
I would say, just like business, do it once every quarter.
I would say more than that.
Well, I'm saying minimally, because you may not have time to do it more often than that because of just life. But
so he said once a quarter. I say you should be you yourself should constantly be evaluating your relationship or marriage, regularly, like weekly, just like not asking the person, but then there should be a time where you say, hey babe, how am I as a husband?
Right.
She should say, how am I as a wife? And you're honest and talk about the things that need to be improved.
Right. And
then you continually work on those. And of course, when you say once a quarter, you might come back and say, okay, how am I doing? Am I improving? Blah, blah, blah. But even you should always be working towards change, because like if I tell you need to work on this, just because you do this doesn't mean you're good now. There's other things that are going to come up that if Edgewater High School don't stop calling.
Turn your ring off. One time we don't mind. Just one time. Anyway.
That's not how to have your marriage successful right here. I mean, Cedric is trying to push every button I got tonight, and that's not going to help to save our relationship right here.
No, every time the live phone ring.
Baby, it's my computer's on.
No, but your phone wasn't on vibrate, honey.
It wasn't that. It was that, baby. It was not on ring. It's on silent. See that?
You just turned it on.
I did not. Well, I don't like him at all. What are some good maintenance techniques to use to assess one's relationship or marriage? All right.
Do everything I tell you to do.
That's
and you'll be straight.
Regular dating.
Yes.
Spontaneous things, especially you guys don't have any small children in the house. Spontaneous dating, doing nice things, nice gestures for each other. If you have the money financially, you can do a little, gifting. If not, other things. Find out
techniques for maintenance, though.
Yes, to maintain your marriage, like things that you like. It's the romance.
The question says maintenance techniques to use to assess one's relationship. You're saying that's not the same thing. What you're saying is like how to keep it.
What are some good maintenance techniques?
Assess. Taking your wife out on a date is not assessing anything.
Okay. So I did the wrong. So I was answering the wrong question.
I know. So I'm helping you, honey. I'm a helpmeet. Helping you. So anyway, now that you have a full understanding of the question, what do you think?
What you answering, honey?
Wow, I'm so interested in what you have to say.
I got to reframe my mind because I was on something else. I was answering the wrong question, as you so eloquently told everybody.
I was trying to help you. You were so dogmatic. I was just, trying to steer you back on the course, but it's all good.
But they must be willing to listen or to hear what's being said and not in the defense mode, or they should ask questions. That's actually very true.
Right.
Because when they have those, we call them report cards. When we have our report cards,
right,
your feelings can't be involved or you won't get the truth. And then you'll continue to have somebody that's unhappy or some type of resentment that's building.
Yeah, but timing is important too, because just because you're saying something that's truthful doesn't mean it's appropriate at that time.
Well, he's talking about she's talking about in the aspect of doing these report cards.
Honey. No, I know, but I'm saying you don't want to do that if you already have tension and be like, you know what, you ain't doing this, that, and the third. You need to be better at this and that. If it's already tension, then it might not be the right.
Well, that's not how you do a report card anyway.
I know that. That's what I'm saying.
But so the thing would be how do you do the report card? How do you ask where you are? Mm-hmm. Progress report. How do you do that? And so that we'll get to that in a second. Mike said it's still good information. He said I will apply them both. Thank you, Mike, since he tried to throw me under the bus. Tanja said, I heard someone say that they ask each other monthly, what can I do more of? What can I do better? And what can I do differently?
Yes.
I don't know if I asked all those questions, but just like, how can I be a better wife?
Right.
How can I be a better husband?
What do you need from me?
What do you need from me
to make your life better? And normally it'll be one or two things that's prominent in that person's mind, because
especially if you do it regular, then they're not going to have a whole long list. When you get a long list is when y'all don't talk, y'all don't communicate. Then when y'all try to talk about how I can do better, oh, you can do this and you can do that, you ain't do that. Like then you go down a whole list,
and that can be overwhelming to the other person. They may not even want to try at that point,
right? Because then they leave feeling like I can't do nothing right.
Right? Like, what good am I? You don't like nothing about me.
James said, me too. So, Mike, to go back to your question, that what we just talked about is some of the things having, even over dinner, just while y'all having dinner, while y'all doing things that just you and her talking together, you can ask a question like, hey, so we've been married for some months, or we've been married for a year, or we married this, how is the relationship? Or, is this what you envision our marriage to be like? And be honest. And the thing about it, that men are ego driven, women are emotional beings. So you can hurt a man's feelings and he becomes defensive. You can hurt a woman's feelings and she becomes emotional. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that, like you say, listen, I really want us to have a great marriage. And so I want to make sure that we're honest with each other, right, so that we can improve. And if they say something like, oh, nothing, you're perfect, because we've seen some couples that say that stupidness. Oh, you're perfect, you never do anything wrong. What I would suggest is that in that moment you say, well, if there's one thing that I could work on, what would that be? Right. That way you're saying, even though you said I'm perfect, what's something I can work on? Because no one is actually perfect, but they may not want to hurt your feelings and they want to see how you respond. Right. If you don't understand what they're asking you, then ask some more questions, but it can't be
an interview.
Defensive questions. Like, what you mean by that? Like they said, you could be a little more supportive, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what does that support look like? Right. Supportive in your job, supportive in, your schooling. What does that look like to you? Now, you might not be able to do what they're asking, but it may be some way that you can get a better understanding of where they are and what it is that they're needing. And so don't be like, oh, so I ain't supportive when I ain't go to the other day when you did it. Then that becomes, well, I'm not going to share any information with you because now it's an attack mode. What would you say?
I think is to make it simple. It's basically having meaningful conversations, but it's learning people's definition of things, because that's normally where the breakdown, the disconnects happen, because we both can say respect, but respect means one thing to me and something else to Angie.
Correct.
So once you learn the different definition of things, then you can respond accordingly. So I know when he says this is what he means, and I need to do whatever. Instead of doing what you think it means, you have to learn what they believe it to be. So so you're not operating in assumptions,
right?
And that's where a lot of people have downfalls, is assuming that they mean the same thing that you're thinking.
And your upbringing plays a big part in that too, because if at my house how we showed respect was cooking a meal, and washing dishes, at your house respect might have been, whatever, whispering or stuff. I don't know. I'm just something crazy, but it could be. But if that's what respect is to you, no matter how crazy I may feel like it is, that's still his definition of respect, and whatever mine is still for me.
Well, and then you have to come to some type of agreement in the middle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world is that person saying?
Who knows?
So Angie, you brought up a great point. What part of that? What about the different households?
Right. Which point are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah. So what point are you talking? Oh, okay. Yeah. Because what happens is, and we had to find it out early on, because what my house looked like and what was normal in my house was different than what his house looked like and what's normal in his house. Right. Like, my parents are still married. It was just the four of us.
The four of us.
My siblings. It was they had 4 children just between my mom and my dad. You brought about a single mother. Mm-hmm. Your dad has multiple children. Like, there was a whole different dynamic, which is not bad. There's a lot of single mothers, but what happens is what I thought was normal was not normal in his house.
Yeah, but even take it further, it even doesn't matter that, because if you polled your siblings, they all have a different worldview than you have, and they were raised in the same house. So it's all about that person's perspective.
That's true.
And their conceptual framework.
Yeah, but see, the thing about that, like, okay, for instance, me and Tanja, we're 10 years apart.
Right.
So the experiences, which she has listed in this book, you seen that plug, Tanja? Which she had listed in this book, are different than mine. So her story, same house,
correct,
but she's older than I am. So what, like the stuff that she didn't endure without being able to wear pants and stuff like that, going through that rough religious, strict upbringing in that church, I wasn't in that era.
Right. So
even though we're the same parents, our parents had to grow and evolve and to learn and mature as well, because they were young parents too.
No, but I'm saying, even if you had a twin that was raised the same as you, same age, you would still have different frameworks, because I know twins that are polar opposites of each other, and they were raised in the same house.
Look, Jay said the same thing.
Right.
Your parents are still growing.
It doesn't really matter. Everybody has their own way to look at the world.
And that's right. So, okay, so Cedric and I brought up in different households, different dynamics, but then you go to the same household, same parents or same upbringing, and people's framework is just wired differently.
And I use this example. When you go to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the preacher preaches.
Yes.
So after church, everybody like, ooh, preacher, you preach the word. But everybody is saying that for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Same message, but it spoke to this in me, but it spoke to that in you. Same thing when, just like if you got a sibling, both of y'all get a beating. One sibling be like, man, they beat me because they hate me. The other be like, well, they beat me because they're trying to discipline me and make me, follow the rules.
Right.
Same thing happened, but you look at it 2 different ways.
Right.
So that's my point.
Okay. I know that I had not thought about the fact that my parents were young like we were when they had children.
Right.
And I know you hear people say this all the time, but there's not a manual to raise children. Nope. And no matter how many children you have, no matter whatever's going on, everybody's going to turn out differently.
Well, each child is different. You can do the same thing to 2 kids and have, 2 different results.
Right.
So that's the thing. Just do the best you can and go ahead on.
That's true.
That's it.
So, one of the things that I have to often think about, and I think when I spend time with my parents and stuff, like on Wednesdays or whatever, when I go over, I think about the fact that I didn't realize their age. You know what I'm saying? Like when I started thinking about the fact of how old they were when they had Phyllis,
mm-hmm.
then it tells you how young they were.
Right.
So they both was parents when they were teenagers. It's 18, but
you gotta think about it like this: they were younger than we were when we got married, and when we got married, we definitely know what we were doing at all. And they were years younger than we were when they got together.
And now that, but Mama was home, Daddy was in college. So you're trying to have a marriage and a family, and you're in college. Away, like. And you couldn't just drive home on the weekend. You had to catch a Greyhound, and that wasn't cheap.
It took a lot of time too.
Right, probably 12 years.
Greyhound is super slow.
So what do we do from here? As far as, first of all, we talked about the state of your marriage. Right. How do you? When is the last time we did a report card? A progress report.
I'm not sure. I want to say we did one recently, but I don't know. I can't remember.
It's been a minute.
I think it's been a little while, yeah.
And what I've been thinking about is a lot of things that we tell other couples and we know to do and we used to do regularly, mm-hmm. We've gotten out of the routine, which is another thing that you have to be cautious about, is getting complacent, knowing the information, but not applying the information. Because we used to go on a date. Now the pandemic jacked it up, but even if that's the case, we used to just, even if nothing, go for a ride or just do something. Right. Even if it wasn't just going for a ride. Sometimes it was just listening to old music, doing a little nothing. It was doing nothing, but it was doing something out of the normal. And so
gas too high to be going for rides right now. You go sit in the car with the window down and in the driveway at $3 a gallon.
Faith without works is dead. You are absolutely right, Justin. And so that's the thing. We're gonna have to go back to our progress reports. Go back to our date night. Right, Tom? Don't laugh at him.
Right, listen. I'll work on your progress report as soon as we get off. I've been my book here. I got all your grades in here. So don't worry, I got you. I'll send it to your parents because they might not get it if you have to take it home. That's to mail it to your house because you might not take that bad boy home. It ain't right.
Anyway. It is, and the whole thing was what was stated. You remember they had, Tavis Smiley had that State of the Black Union. Mm-hmm. We did that because we're talking about, that was a big thing back in the day, but we have to put, what is the state of your relationship right now? It could have been good 2 weeks ago. Right. It could have been good yesterday. But how is your relationship? And I'm not talking about a one-day thing, but what's the state of your relationship? Are you snappier at each other? Are you a lot meaner to each other? Are you?
Listen, that's funny you said that because the irony of that is not lost on me because Tavis didn't have his finger on the pulse of the Black Union because it went sideways on him. He didn't know how the Black people were feeling because he was on the wrong side of that situation.
Right, well. So
Jay says, that sounds like an argument to me. How would you introduce that to your spouse?
What part?
I guess the progress report part.
Oh, okay. So you missed that part, Jay. We do progress reports. And how we started it was, and one of the ways you could start it is that You can talk about the fact that you've heard it somewhere, but you also can say, hey, how can I be a better husband to you? Right. How am I doing as a husband? All this stuff like that. And then what you do is, if they don't really have anything to say, which I'm sure Anna, she don't mind telling you her opinion. She like me. I'm going to say, although now I try to figure out a way to say it. Like, let me see how, so that he won't be acting stupid when I say what I said. But, just how can I be a better husband? How can I improve? But if you explain the concept of progress reports,
I think she'll be okay.
Then she'll be okay with it. Me not being funny, because then I want to. So I heard saying about progress reports. I want to see how I'm doing as a husband. And I don't know if you want to see how you're doing as a wife. So we both can work on things to improve our marriage. So we can not only just be married for a long time, but be happily married. Because there's people that's married for a long time and they're not happy. And they're not improving. They're in the same or worse situation they were years ago. Right. You don't want that to be. Tony says, Andrew, you're going to get a spanking from the teacher after class. You probably like that. I don't want a spanking from the teacher because he's being mean today.
Paddling.
He being mean today. I'm running home.
In-school suspension.
Oh, yeah, Jay, we got you. But you just have to explain to her what it is, because it actually works. Yeah. It's a time that, okay, so we used to, I don't know if you remember the show The Game. I thought we talked about this before. There was a show The Game, and there was a time in the game when they wanted to talk about something that was could be sensitive. Right. But I didn't want you to have your guards up. So they would say truth moment. Now that doesn't sound like anything big, but it actually works. Mm-hmm. Because it's been times that we started using that. This was the game was so many years ago. Our kids were little.
They were small.
We would say truth moment. And I don't know what that meant, what that did, but it looked like it took because when everybody uptight, it kind of make it, you be feeling like this, like what they finna say, but kind of take the air out you, like let you relax. So I'm like, look, truth moment. Baby, when, I really want to, see us succeed, it's a time where you don't get to just talk about people like a dog in the middle of the truth moment.
No.
It's just that, like, baby, I'm concerned about you and, your mental health. I'm concerned about you and your well-being. I'm concerned about whatever. Like if you saw them having a hard time or a nervous breakdown, something that you thought was concerning, babe, listen, I know you got a lot of things on your plate, but I'm concerned about you. You don't seem yourself. And that person wasn't like, ain't nothing wrong with me, because it's something about that truth moment that just kind of like just made you relax. Right. And we stopped doing that as well. These are all things that.
Well, I don't think that stopped us from having those conversations.
No, we have those conversations, but there are still times that we could have used a truth moment. Yeah. But I'm saying, see, we learned the principles behind what they are.
That's what I'm saying. That's more like if you can't have those conversations without it being an altercation, then that. I mean, you can still use it, but I'm saying we still have those conversations. So even if we don't say truth moment, we still having the truth moments.
Oh, I skipped one. Hold on.
Mike says, good idea on the marriage progress report. If you want to keep getting what you're getting, keep doing what you're doing. You want something different, you got to do something different.
Now, that is exactly the truth.
Right.
But so often people in marriages feel like, well, we married now. Right. And so let's just, like it works. But who you are at year 1, right, you will not be at year 2, 3, 4, 5.
But is it working?
But even if you are, that's a problem. Right. Because if a baby, if my 5-year-old is behaving the same as he was as an infant, they would call that mental retardation, correct?
Right.
So if you, as a 10-year marriage, is still acting like the same as a 1-year marriage,
that's a problem.
Your marriage is mentally stagnant. Yes. What you call it? Delayed?
Developmentally delayed.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, we don't want to be delayed.
It's just the progress part I feel will be viewed as possible nagging. I like the truth. Truth moment and progress reports are 2 different things, though, Jay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Progress reports
Well, you don't have to say the word progress report.
Well, but
because some people can see that as a negative connotation.
But this is the thing, if you put yourself out there,
but I'm saying you can label it whatever you want. The thing is, you just want to get the results.
But the progress report was because you want her to tell you what things you need to improve, and you want to be able to talk to her about stuff.
You don't have to call it that. Is all I'm saying.
I get it, but the truth moment is different than the progress report. Correct. Truth moment is that there's something I need to talk to you about in this moment, and I don't need you to be defensive.
Yeah, but you could just say status update. I want to check in on you on our relationship. How we doing? I want to see how you doing. I mean, you can say whatever you want. The goal is to get to the results.
Okay, so plus, if you both have a good marriage progress report, celebrate that date night, or each spouse take. That's true.
Yeah, that works for me.
Especially if you're both making progress. Right. See, when you see changes, even if it's not what you like, if I tell Cedric I want you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he do 1, 4, and 5, he is making strides. You know what I'm saying? It might not be what I thought he should do, but he's making strides. That means he hears me. He wants to do better. Right. So celebrate the steps, the fact that you got, because there's people that tell they spouse what they like or what they need, and they say so.
Well, that's one thing too. That's very important, to acknowledge the other person's efforts to change, even if they haven't made it all the way yet, because what'll happen is they'll stop trying if they feel like their efforts are not being acknowledged or not being recognized or whatever the case may be. So celebrate all the little wins that you get.
Right. Well, the thing about it is that it's just so easy in a marriage to get complacent.
Very easy.
And take the other person for granted.
Yes.
And sometimes if you don't do your progress reports and your date nights and your check-ins and your truth moments, you get to a place where we're so far disconnected, I don't know if we can reconnect. Right. And it's harder to reconnect when you've been disconnected for a long, long time. Right.
Using the example, you've been disconnected, the harder it is to reconnect.
Using the example of a car battery. If the battery was going low and you had to jump it because it's hard, it don't hard start that well, is one thing. But when the battery is dead,
it's hard to get
it started. And sometimes you have to buy a new battery. Yeah. So you don't want to be at a place where I don't know if my jump box or these jumper cables, or if I got to connect these jumper cables to a bigger battery to get this started, or if I would have just did some maintenance regularly and reconnected regularly and spent time regularly, if we could have saved our marriage. But don't let it get, and don't let other people tell you what it takes for your marriage.
Right.
I think that's a big thing too. People like, it don't take all that. You ain't got to spend that much time with her, spend that much time with him. A lot of times when people are unhappy in their relationships, right, and sometimes they don't like their spouse. That's correct. So they don't want to tell you don't spend a lot of time because they want you to spend time with them, but that ain't your business. I ain't married to you.
Or telling you what they wouldn't put up with. And that's great. That's not your relationship.
Right.
So that's true. For sure.
So, I know that we are starting back with our weekly topics about different things in relationship. We didn't start off the best tonight, my husband and I.
Thought out fine. Great.
See
what?
We didn't start out the best tonight.
Why not?
See that right there? That's not it.
What? I'm happy. I'm great. Awesome.
See what I'm talking about?
I'm magnanimous.
Y'all see how he's trying to act?
How am I trying to act? I'm fine. That's great.
Exactly, Andrew. When you're happy to be at work, going home, that's probably. Listen, there's so many of those. Anyway, I was saying we didn't start that great tonight.
Happened to the best of us.
But the point was we want to get back to some good biblical relationship teaching that can help foster good, healthy relationships that's mentally, spiritually, physically, sexually, all kind of Lee.
All kind of
Lee.
I like Lees.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying, my husband then took me out in the road. He not gonna let me. He not gonna let Dev use tonight. Listen, hold my hand. Hold my hand. See, look at his face, y'all. Look, see, that is not it.
Not being hand assaulted on national TV.
Anyway, didn't start off well. Okay, but
God, He came in and He saved us.
I cannot deal with you tonight.
Hallelujah.
That is not what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were on the same page there. My bad.
No, I don't know what page you on.
I apologize for interrupting you. I thought we were together. I was trying to finish your sentence. Like we were in sync. Bye, bye, bye. No.
Have we ever finished each other's sentence?
This happened before. I don't know how often, but it's happened.
Have we? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, people in this time need help mentally, physically, emotionally, and that's not just in relationships, but it's personal. And if you are in a bad place personally, your relationship is definitely going to be in a bad place because if I'm bringing my sadness and everything else with me, my woes with me, then a lot of times you can deflect on the other person your I'm gonna say your energy, but how you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but that's natural. That's not abnormal. Most people that are not having a good time are not overly jovial to other people. That's not normally how it works. You get whatever's going on with that person at the time, normally. Shay says, we finish each other's sentences a lot. Start singing the same random song at the same time. Also.
Now, we do the song thing. Like the song, we'll start singing some random stupid song at the same time. But I don't know if we finish each other's sentence.
Not all the time, but it has happened before.
So the whole purpose of this, y'all, was even if you don't feel comfortable talking to your spouse about it.
The whole purpose? I like that.
You want me to say the purpose?
No. I just like you say the whole purpose. I got to use that. The whole purpose. Not just the purposes, but you put some emphasis on that thing. The whole purpose.
I can't stand you.
Why? I'm giving you a compliment. You don't like it?
The purpose.
The whole purpose.
The purpose was
this here meet and greet
is that you can take an assessment of where your marriage is without your spouse.
Right.
Of course, it's better if you have input from your spouse because it's them that it will be affecting, and they may not tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. You may be in a warped sense of reality of where your relationship is. Hearing from them can help you say, "Ooh, I need to get this together."
But that's true. They may or may not tell you the truth because that's if that's not something that you're used to doing, your automatic response might be, "You great, everything is wonderful."
Well, if you are known to have, and let me put this out there, if you are known to respond
not the best
when you hear stuff that you don't want to hear,
spaz out,
then you may not get the truth from your spouse right away until you learn how to sit in what they tell you.
That sounds kind of gross, but okay.
I mean,
it's the truth.
If they telling you something, it don't feel good.
Marinate in that thing.
You still got to sit in what they're telling you. And that's not easy.
It's itchy.
You got to be vulnerable. And sometimes that's easier to say. Not sometimes.
All the time.
All the time.
Especially like Angie said, if the person is going to spaz on you or start tweaking, it's not You don't want to do that.
Listen, the best relationships, the best marriages are the ones that you can be the most vulnerable with. Right. Because I don't have to hide my good days. I don't have to hide my bad days. I don't have to look a certain way.
Is honesty. Another word for vulnerability is honesty.
No, because vulnerable means I put myself in a position that you can hurt me.
And I'm saying that is because,
but you don't. But that's not about honesty, honey. Like if I'm talking about in the progress report way, but I'm saying
I'm just talking about in general. If I can be truthful with you, that's me being vulnerable with you. No matter if you're gonna get upset, we can still work through it.
Right, but
that's what I'm saying. It's a similar thing to being vulnerable because you're being honest. You feel like you have to go around the corner with it, then it's not really, in my opinion.
But okay, so vulnerability means that we tend to go around with guards up. Somebody hurt you as a child. Somebody, your parent didn't do, or a past relationship. Vulnerability means that I can just be, and I don't have to, like, I ain't gotta have my makeup on. We see that movie when she's going and put her makeup on before he woke up. Mm-hmm. I don't have to look like that or be like that. You see me.
Right, but you don't see that as honesty, as your truth, because you putting makeup on. That's not you. That's an enhancement, sure, but that's not who you are. That's not your truth. No,
I don't see that. But hey,
but I know you're not quite as deep as me, but I know it's okay.
No one hit this the bottom.
Say what?
I was trying to hit that bottom.
Wow.
Y'all are saying the same thing. There's definitely a correlation between honesty. I know there's a correlation, but I was saying I was coming from a different point. Yes, when you're vulnerable, what I'm saying is I feel I'm trying to come from a different place. I do understand that they are similar. And Kendra, this is how we do at home. We be throwing our ideas out there, whatever.
It's converging thoughts.
But I do like the fact that we can
agree to disagree.
Yeah, but a lot of times we keep talking about it and flushing it out, and then you may use an analogy. I'm like, oh, or I'll say something. You be like, why do you think about it like that? So we all have. It's good to have good conversation where you got people like I deal with people that try to act like you're stupid all the time, and you got to hold your mule. So it's good to have
hold your mule. Boy, that's the reins of the mule. You hold it right there.
Yes, honey.
Hold them again. Let me see.
Because the spirit of nuck if you buck came over me last Friday.
Hold the mule again. Let me see. You gotta hold it.
Listen.
That's right. Hold him. Don't let him go nowhere.
Listen. People will test your Christian.
Sometimes you gotta hold on tight.
People will test to see how much Jesus you have in you.
You have to.
And I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I had to lay my religion down."
Listen, the Lord can't use you if He ain't test you first.
Oh my Lord! But how much testing must I go through?
That means He got something special in mind.
Woo! Do it, Jesus.
Hey, look at that.
Do it, Lord.
That'll preach.
So anyway, vulnerability is important.
Important.
And when you get to a place where you can be honest and vulnerable with your spouse, and they can do the same with you, that is a wonderful state of your marriage.
Wonderful. You didn't have to say that, Annie, by the way. I know you don't agree with that.
What?
You said vulnerable and honest.
No, but I do believe vulnerable and honest. I just didn't feel like I didn't put.
You don't think it right.
Okay, so what I said was,
and that's fine.
But I did vulnerable and honest. Listen, let me be great tonight. You're not helping.
Ow, you're already great, honey. You don't need to be any greater. I think that being honest is telling them how you're feeling, but being vulnerable is the why. Some childhood trauma that you may be embarrassed to tell anyone else, for example, but you can tell your spouse.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
I see now that
what?
I can go along with. I can concur on it.
Okay. So that I go along. Well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doesn't matter how you get to the conclusion.
Yes, Sanji. Yes.
As long as you get there.
Yes, Sanji.
Yeah. Welcome. You arrived.
You know what?
Glad you're here.
So that's the thing too. I think on these date nights, these nights when you're by yourselves, the nights when you are having these conversations that we talked about, just kicking it, it is important that you share some of those childhood things, because me learning some of Cedric's childhood stuff helped me understand why he responded and did some of the stuff he did. Him having her learning some of my stuff helped him understand why I did what I did, or why I said what I said, or how I respond a certain way. When you understand a person's past, then you understand where they are and what we need in order to move forward.
Yeah, that helps. I agree.
Because I think that was a pivotal point in our relationship when we started to learn some history about each other. Pivotal? You keep on plotting with me. Plotting on me something.
Plotting with you? What?
Yes, I can't think. Hush.
Exactly. I'm listening. You profound. You saying that thing.
Anyway, we're glad everybody decided to tune in tonight.
That's right.
Appreciate I do ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Black Love United. It would be greatly appreciated.
Share this video with friends.
Subscribe to us on Instagram and of course, Facebook. We
ain't on Snapchat, baby.
We are on Snapchat.
We'll do Snapchat too.
Y'all like my shirt I made? So if you need a shirt made, holler at me. Boom, boom.
You say boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I got the matching earrings and the bracelet.
Too.
Who? She do what?
Boom, boom. She do that too.
She do not.
Yes.
So
Joseph's sister thing.
Anyway, I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully you will have learned some well, thank you, hon.
Oh yeah, she trying to be cute or whatever.
Or whatever. I got a ring and I forgot to put it on. It's the same color. So I forget.
Where your ring at?
It's in there.
You forgot?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna comment, I like it. Also, y'all looking slim.
Yeah, whatever. I'm trying.
Yes, this girl is down. This girl down.
All righty then. On that note,
thank you, Brother Law.
Glad you came through, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you next Monday, 7:00. Please go subscribe to our channel. We're going to have my sister on so she could talk about her wonderful book. It is amazing. Invite some friends next Monday for some good conversation. I promise you, we'll put the link for my sister's book on our on our Facebook page. I'm pretty sure I thought I did. No, I don't think I did though. I'm lying.
You didn't do what?
I shared it on my page, but I don't think I shared it on our page. So I will share this.
How do you share? You just take a picture of it and do it, or does
it put a link so they put a link to Amazon so they can go and buy the book. Go buy the book.
I put it up.
Okay, so JT said, what's the title? It says, I literally died on purpose. She had sudden death, Jane. She was dead, like medically dead. And God brought her back. This is something good right here, JT. I'll put a link on our page, on my personal page, all that stuff. So if you follow all that stuff, you can get it. I'll put it on Cedric's page because you don't have to either.
You can get it.
To my bye, Sandra.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Jay, listen, I think the statistic was like 1 in a billion survived it or something like 1 in 10 billion or some crazy number. She not only came back, she got degrees after that. I was like, I need to get my life together. I'm a slacker. Tammy, thank you for joining us. Hope to see you next Monday. I appreciate your input.
That's right. I appreciate you.
And I will put, and my sister has a YouTube channel, says My 2 Cents for Change. Go subscribe to her behind. She just started now. Give us some love and support.
That's right.
Bye, y'all.
Deuces.